Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Download the app, use promo code DNVR when you sign up. Welcome in, everybody. We are live in studio. It's a beautiful Thursday. It's opening day, national holiday of Colorado. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll.
National holiday of
State
Colorado.
holiday. Shut up. Okay, we could have all just gone right past that. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, a.k.a. Merchel, a.k.a. going to Vegas to see United this summer. Got the tickets. Let's go. Joined by my... Look at the arrangements throwing me off. I always look here, but I got to introduce these fools first. My guy, Super Yaya.
Full number one over here.
Full number one on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, downtown Duane Brown.
Oh, enough about me. Let's get to
Oh,
Jordan.
I had nothing else, actually. So perfect. Moving on. We are joined by analyst and host for the Rapids, former U.S. women's national team superstar.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Host of the Show Your Scars podcast. We are joined by Jordan Angeli. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys.
Let's go.
I'm so excited to be here. I've seen this in the setup, but I've got to say, it's even cooler here.
Thank you.
Like being in the studio and the secret door. Ooh, I felt so cool walking up here.
Love the
very
secret
cool.
door. You are very cool. We're lucky to have you on. We think you're awesome.
The secret door always, I find it so funny. We had a hockey player in here, Adam Foot, and he just like tore it off because he couldn't get it. Like he didn't realize that slid, so he just
Well, if you ever watch Adam Foot play hockey, I feel like that's pretty.
It's fitting.
it's accurate for sure.
Yeah, we're stoked to have Jordan in. We got a nice little show lined up. We're going to be talking about the SKC game. We got a little game to play for ourselves. The Open Cup draw was just announced. But first, we just want to talk to you. You're back.
I'm back.
You were in Columbus for a couple years, but now you're back with the Rapids. Maybe let's start there. What you're doing with the Rapids this season?
Yeah.
How you feeling about it? How you feeling about being back with the team? And
Yeah, I feel really good about it in general. Just this is home for me. I grew up in Lakewood, and
I'm a West Sider myself. Golden. Yep.
You went to Golden?
Yep.
Yeah, I went to Green Mountain High School, so it's nice being back home. You know, it's been a wild few years, and also with all the changes that were happening, it's nice to make those changes at home where my family's near. So I am so glad to be back in Colorado and to see the mountains every single day. When you don't have mountains, you realize how much you miss the mountains.
Oh, I bet.
So that's been really nice. And then it's been great working back with the team. The first time I saw the guys, I actually popped down to one day in preseason, and a number of guys who I'd worked with before were just like, welcome back. And they were so nice and so kind. And just having established relationships within the club already made the transition really easy. And so I'm doing a lot of content on a weekly basis. We're pushing out a lot of really good stuff, hoping that is, you know, a lot of it is on Apple, but hopefully all of it will be on Apple one day. So it's all available on coloradorapids.com and on our YouTube. So it's been really fun working with Drew Moore, who
legend.
He is a legend,
friend of the pod.
Yeah, and
He is a Dallas Cowboys fan, so
well, he can't have all the credit, right? Like he played 18 years, so that's cool. We'll give him that, but like
It's fine.
yeah,
we're not going to give him the football.
Nobody's
thing.
perfect. I guess.
Nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's been fun, and yeah, it's been great. It's been really nice being back home.
Love seeing you and Drew out there. You're breaking down the game pre-game up on the Jumbotron, doing some halftime work.
Big heads.
You guys are
Big
like
heads.
prominent over the stadium. A break from kind of play-by-play in studio, like live game talk. Where's your preference lie there? Are you happy to be kind of, is that more of a grind and this is a little more fun, a little more creative, stuff like that?
That's a good way to put it, because I do think that is a little bit of how it breaks down, because when you're calling a game as an analyst every single week, when I was in Columbus and working on TV, I'm not only prepping for a pregame show and making sure I have play breakdowns and the segments that I want, and then prepping for the game and watching multiple games from the opponent. So it's a lot of work, and this is just different work. You know, it's more either film breakdown, which was Drew and I are doing, or just game analysis, but different than being in the game. So I would say it's a little less of a grind. I miss calling games terribly. I will be on the call this weekend with the Rapids in Kansas City.
Let's go.
So I'm on the
That's gonna
radio
be
with
fun.
Connor Cape, which will be really fun. Because that's really where I started calling games in
Nice.
MLS, was on the radio actually with Connor McGahee but I only work with Connors here. It seems like so.
Interesting.
I miss that terribly, and I feel like one day I'll be back in MLS. It's just not today.
Jordan, if we wanted to listen to you on the radio while watching the game, is that possible?
It would be possible if it was a home game.
Oh no!
Yeah,
we can't use that.
I know.
I think you can watch it
man.
and hit play.
I feel
on
like I
radio.
just set that up.
Yeah, you can
and
do
just
what
got
my parents have done
smashed.
all of the years when I was on radio is try to sync the two. So maybe my dad, I know he's watching, has some.
Yeah, shout out, Dad.
Yeah, has some good tips on how to sync that because it's not the easiest thing ever. But he's pretty much got it.
Duane really tried to just like put
I
up
was
a
really-
layup.
I
and it
was
just-
You did. You tried to lay it up.
Yeah, it
It's
was
only
just
the
like-
home
it up.
teams, right?
Yeah,
it's only home
Man, I
teams.
thought it was every game.
Yeah.
We're all still learning MLS season pass.
It's
It's
We
new.
are.
It's
It's new.
process.
You got a radio.
I mean, I've been impressed so far. I mean, I
Yeah.
obviously I knew I'd be tuning into games and catching up on, goal highlights and kind of like the extended highlights on games I couldn't watch live. But I find myself watching so much content on there.
Mostly
On
rapids
teams
with
I'm not into.
Jordan
Well, obviously
Angeli
I'm watching Jordan and
and
Drew break it
Moore.
down and chop it up. But I feel like I'm just watching so much more than I thought I would. And I love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's been so fun to be able to just check in on teams like that.
Have you watched? Do you tune into the 360 show at all?
Oh, yeah.
I only watched it the
yeah.
first week, so I can't speak to how it's gotten. But I don't know. I'm a very much. I like to watch a game, so I think 360 is hard for me because I feel like I want to know how the play actually happened or what a team figured out
Sure,
to make
sure,
that
sure.
play come to fruition. But I've heard it's improved significantly.
Do you watch
They've
Red
been a lot
Zone for
better.
football? Do you like Red Zone?
I do not.
See, okay, that
but
makes sense.
I've heard it's
give me
very
all
much like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
very
have the
similar.
attention span. Give me like flashing lights all over the place.
Yeah, and there's been so many goals lately, so it's probably been really fun to be.
Yeah,
in
like
those.
30 goals a Saturday, it feels
Yeah.
like.
It's been
32,
fun.
36 goals a Saturday. It's been awesome.
There's things to actually break down, which is actually nice.
Right? Hey.
This is a good question that Yaya put in the show notes. Good job, Yaya.
Yeah.
What are the biggest differences between your first run with the team and now?
Yeah. Do I have to start all those questions that Yaya asked with Yaya?
Yeah. People around the office just came out. I know. Just like
This is a new thing. I think this is a show debut.
No, it's not. It's not a show thing. It's a thing around the office.
Sure,
Like,
sure,
Sure,
sure.
segment. This is a new segment. Yeah.
Questions you can only answer in the affirmative.
I want to make sure
With
Jordan
Yaya.
knows who I am. I want to make sure that she recognizes that I'm Yaya and I'm not Mitch.
Yeah.
It's for
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah.
There are a lot of differences. I would say one, when I was with the club for the first time, we went through a number of head coaches in my time there. And so you're always kind of managing, I started with Pablo and then we had Connor and then we had Anthony and then we had Connor. And so it was just like, and then Robin at the end. So I feel like it was a little bit more challenging as an analyst to understand what coaches want when there was turnover in that. I would say from the club standpoint and specifically from what I'm doing on a content side is that area of the Rapids. I don't know if you would call it front office, but their digital team has grown significantly. And really in the this off season, they've hired a lot more people and it's kind of coming into the season as well. But I work with, on the video production team, I have a manager. I have someone that helps with my schedule. We have multiple video producers and editors. So they have really, with what you're saying, with this Apple content, if everybody's going to be able to see this, they wanted to make sure that they were putting out the best content that they could. So they built that part of the club out really well. And it's been really fun to have consistent work every single week. Because in years past, not just here, but also in Columbus, if you don't have the staff, you can have all the ideas you want, but they're never going to get executed. So there's even some things that Drew and I are doing that you guys even haven't seen yet that we're producing, which should be really fun to get you guys a little bit more insight into not only the club, but some of the players specifically. So a lot of good things happening. And
That's awesome.
Really, those are I would say, kind of the main differences. And with Robin being here for a while, you know what he likes, you know what he expects. There's a trust there between him and I because I have been here before. And that is really nice when you're trying to get some info out of a coach,
Totally.
Try to pass it on to other people. So kind of just all the work you're doing, you also called NWSL the first week, right?
Yes.
How was that? How fun? Like, you love calling games.
I love
Clearly
calling
got that earlier.
games.
And NWSL,
Yeah.
maybe like your little baby because you played there. How much?
Yeah, I feel like my baby has grown up because it is so much different.
It's so fun to
Yeah,
watch.
it's-
It's been a great product.
It
right
is
now.
like high octane
Oh, yeah.
football. Like those players sometimes I feel like they all drank a Red Bull and it is let's sprint as fast as we can the whole game.
Right.
And it was opening weekend, so you get even more of that. I love calling games in NWSL, and I've been doing it for a number of years. Actually, when I left here, that's what I was working for the Rapids, and I was calling NWSL games. So they've invested a lot into their production this year with some new producers, some new talent. But there's only 2 of us have been doing it since 2017. So it's pretty
That's
cool
crazy.
to be one of those 2 people that have been within the league for that and to see it grow the way it is. But it was a wild weekend. The
so
first
fun.
game I had was 3-2. It was the Wave, San Diego Wave beat Chicago Red Stars in a 4-goal first half. 2-2, just wild. There were PKs. I had to catch my breath after because I was like, what just happened?
How does that feel? We wouldn't really know.
Yeah.
A lot of goals? What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
We'll
it
get
was fun. It's been
We'll
nice
get there.
being in NWSL and seeing the league grow and seeing some appreciation for women's soccer. And it's always been there on the national level. And it's hard when you're not a national team player to feel like you're accepted as a professional athlete in some ways, like the national team players are. And so I feel like where the league is now, that there's a lot more appreciation for that.
How did you find your, like, that's a pretty quick transition because you played up until like 2015, 2016?
15, yeah.
Right? Okay. So, I mean, that's a pretty quick turnaround going from pro athlete to pro analyst. Like,
Yeah.
How did you find your way into that?
Yeah, it was a smooth transition because of my injuries,
Right.
honestly. I tore my ACL for the 3rd time in
brutal.
2011.
That's insane.
My first game back in my 2nd year pro, I scored a goal. I was like feeling all high. I was with the national team. It was a World Cup year. All these things were going right. And I tore my ACL again. And I was like, ugh, what now? And one of my former coaches, Paul Bravo, was working at the Rapids at that time. And so in that next season, I was like, hey, I think I want to do broadcast. So I reached out to him. I did an internship with Altitude, tried to start making that transition, started calling high school girls soccer games
Nice. What
in
team?
Colorado.
What teams? All of them? Like, whatever
All of
game
them.
it
My
was
first
at?
game
Yeah.
was at, is Ponderosa the one in the Springs? It's
Couldn't
a
tell
P.
ya.
I think it's
Couldn't
Ponderosa.
tell ya.
I think it's Ponderosa.
Palmer Ridge is also the other one.
Oh,
I'm
Palmer
thinking.
Ridge. No, that's it. I think that was it. That was my first game I called as an analyst.
Nice.
And I remember calling my dad after and be like, I think I found what I'm going to do when I'm done.
Let's go.
And it was high school soccer. It was like brutal.
Shout out, Dad. You're still listening, I hope.
Yeah,
Shout
he
out.
is. I'm sure he is. But it was just like I knew that was what I wanted to do. So I think my injury, and it took me 3 years to get back. I didn't know if I was going to play soccer again in 14 and 15. But during that time, I really started to look at what else can I do. And so as I did all that work in those 2-3 years, then when I was done playing, I had already called college soccer games. I found my way, that transition, it made the transition a little bit easier.
Sure.
You're podcast host as well.
Yeah, I am. I
Just
don't
like
have
us.
this set up though.
Well,
You look very natural. Let's
yes,
just say
you're,
that.
yeah, you're fitting right in with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just
well,
come
like,
here. Should I just come here and record my podcast?
Please. Yeah, by all means.
We'd love that. Come on over.
Just say we said it was cool. No
Yeah.
way.
Just say we said it was cool.
If anybody gets mad, just tell them, yeah, they
I know where the secret door is. So
Yeah, you do. You know where the secret is.
don't mind me.
No, it's a really cool podcast. It's, for injured athletes. There's not really
Yeah.
anything like it in the market. What's your experience been like with that? Any,
Yeah.
highlights from that? Anything
Thank
you're taking
you.
from that in?
Yeah,
to-
absolutely. I take
Yeah.
a lot of it. I think being able to put have a conversation with somebody and pull things out of somebody, as you guys know, is a real. It can be an art, and that helps me a lot when I'm then interviewing athletes in a different way. The podcast is called Show Your Scars, and it is just a baby of mine. I felt like when I was going through my injuries, the more I told my story, the more I was like, wow, I can't believe I got through that. And it was almost like I was giving myself a pep talk as I would say it, and trying to be inspiring someone that honestly was going through the same injury. And at the same time, I was like, man, I've gotten through a lot. And I felt just confidence grow in that and felt like it was empowering me. And so I wanted a way to share, for other people to share their stories. And so I've talked a lot with PTs and doctors and people who do different therapies that are very helpful for specifically ACLs, but a bunch of different people. But it's really the athlete stories that I love. I'm about to release a conversation with Carrie Lawrence, who plays in NWSL for the Orlando Pride.
Nice.
And she just tore ACL for the second time. And it's just a really honest conversation about the things that you go through when you're an athlete and you want to push and strive to do more, and your body can't do it. And it's a really strange feeling, but she was, afterwards just saying how thankful she was to get to share what she was feeling in a way that felt very vulnerable and open with someone who knew what she was going through. So it's nice to have people that understand your perspective, and I think that that's really the heart of it.
That's
I
awesome.
want to piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
So there, as an athlete who went through it 3 times, and now you've spoken with, people on the medical side, pro athletes who've dealt with it. A lot of Rapids fans, I call them Rapids Twitter, are very upset with all of the injuries to the club right now. And a lot of that conversation goes to how much it hurts the club, how much it hurts the club's chances. But the part that gets left out of it is the human element.
Yeah.
There is a player who is injured right now who can't play. So I was wondering, from your experience, both going through it, but also in all of your conversations with the podcast, can you speak to that human side of maybe what some of these Rapids players who are down right now, injured, what might they be experiencing not being able to be on the pitch right now?
It's a great question, because I felt like one of the weirdest things about when you get injured is your life changes immediately, forever, really, or at least for a long period of time. And the whistle just blows and play continues. And people keep cheering and people keep complaining or whatever it is, but your life in particular is so different. And, when Jack just went down, and to see him on the field, and he was, he sat up and he's looking at the play, and he's, still hopeful that his team is going to do well. But in that moment, he knew what happened. That's a significant injury. And when I tore my ACL for the last time, I knew what happened, and I knew how that was going to change my life. And then I got myself cleared off the field, and the play went on. So it's challenging as a player, because it's your job to be on the field, and all you want to do is be on the field. So when you get pulled away from it, it can be, not just your outlet as far as this is how I can be helpful for my squad or be creative, but you also go through these you're detoxing from the adrenaline that you get every day and all the different hormones that your body releases when you're playing. And then you don't have those because you're not playing. So you're going through a lot of battles in your head that I don't think people think about. But I get it. Sports it's a business at the end of the day, and it's challenging. But I do think adding that human perspective to it just lets people see things from a different point of view, because a lot of people haven't been that player on the field who can't compete now for a whole entire year, and their life is different. And I'm not saying it's harder or not as hard as the people who are watching. Their lives are probably have challenges as well. But just to know that all those players want to do is play, and that's probably how they got hurt, playing.
It seems like a real
doing the best
identity.
they could.
Yeah, it seems like a real identity shift. Your whole identity up to that moment is being an athlete.
Yes.
And now you are almost like you're a different person now. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Figuring that out.
Do athletes find another way to fill that void? Do they get competitive in other ways? You that been in that kind of situation?
Yeah. I don't know if the competition, everybody treats it differently. I think for me, one of the things I really missed when I wasn't playing is that feeling of being totally submerged in, like, my focus being in that. When you're playing soccer, everybody talks about being in the zone. Like, when you're in the zone, you don't really think about what the next play is going to be. It happens. You feel it. And I so missed that feeling. And I started to think, okay, maybe that's just a creative thing. And maybe I need to do things that are creative. And so I decided to pick up different, like, creative. I did everything. Like, one time I painted, one time I did photography, and I just drive around and, like, take pictures just to feel myself not think about all the things I was going through and be so hyper focused on my knee and my recovery, but to be submerged into a creative art type of thing. That really helped me. But also watching the game can be, some people like it and some people don't. Some people can go to training, some people can't because it pisses them off too much. Yeah. But you can also learn a lot. Like, I think I'm so thankful for my time off the field, because I don't think I would have the eye for the game that I have if I didn't see the game from the sideline.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like, whoa. I wonder how many, like, former, there's a ton of former players on the call across competition. I wonder how many of those have had kind of the injury, history that is like they do have to step back. That's a really interesting way to look at it. Man, I never really thought of that.
Minute 36.
Let's really quick. Let's get into Brendan Plone from the Denver Post put this out on Twitter the other day.
Okay.
There are 19 players from Colorado in the NWSL right now.
I think I know where we're going with
not
this.
An NWSL team in Colorado.
Yeah.
What? Why? And when can we fix that?
Why? You're like, I just need to know.
I just had someone reach out to me on Twitter today, actually, and I need to get back to them, but they're very interested in that question too. And I'm interested in exploring that. It's a hard market. There's a lot of sports teams here.
Yeah. And
the summers are hard to, I just told you how much I'm so excited to be back in the mountains. And, that's exactly when Rapids games are, or NWSL games would be. So I think it's a difficult market in the sense of how can you drive more people to a sporting event in the summer in Colorado? Do I think that it would be very well accepted? Yeah. I think, you think about the players right now that are on the national team and players that have come through the national team or come through NWSL. What'd you say, 19 players right now?
19 players from Colorado.
Yeah. I think there's a possibility.
It's a
I think there's a
squad
possibility.
right
That's
there.
a whole game
It's a
day squad.
But no, you also have a what's it called? What's your name from San Diego Wave? Kornicki that also played in CU.
Yeah, Korniak. You were close. Yeah.
Korniak.
She's
played at CU.
really
Yeah. I think that this new Bay Area team set the standard. They just invested $152 million into this.
Whoa.
It's a $50 million
That's the
buy-in
buy-in
now.
Yeah, and so that's putting in $100
And then they're
to
putting
build.
$100 to build a training
Awesome.
facility, to invest in their building a team. Getting a GM, getting a president, getting a really good front office staff.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of doll hairs.
Well, yeah, and that's so many roles too. Like, I know people don't consider front office staff when they're thinking of like the comm staff, the digital team, the marketing, there's so many roles to
It
fill.
went from $2 million
Yeah.
to $50 million.
Let's go.
Like that.
Hey, Penners, Walton Penners, drop some cash. Let's go.
The other thing about the
make it happen.
about the Bay Area team, being a former U.S. player, I think the cool thing about this announcement this week of the Bay Area team start is that it's really being headed by like this 4-person super team of women who are really leading the charge on that. Like, sports being very male dominated. Now we see NWSL really starting to, and we see it in other sports too, but NWSL especially, like, how does that affect you, like, playing in the NWSL and now seeing, like, former national team legends come in.
My teammates.
Renson Chastain.
I played
Allie,
with Brandy Chastain was my coach in college.
Whoa.
Leslie Osborne was my teammate in college and my teammate when I was pro. I never played with Danielle or Allie, but I know them very well, and it makes me so proud of them. When I woke up, the announcement was like at 4 a.m. or something. It was so early in the morning.
For a West Coast team.
Yes, it was bizarre. But I woke up and I saw all this stuff, and I texted them all right away, and I was like, I am extremely proud of you guys, because I had heard about all the stuff that they were trying to do and had checked in with them a number of times, but they were just, they've been working on this since 2020.
Right.
They have been working on it for a long time and found the right investors and did a really good job, but they've led it. And I would imagine their leadership is going to, in some way, I can see some of them working within the group as well. If they want to go from, I don't know how that works, if they can go from where they are as these like key figureheads into a leadership role within the club. But I could see that. I could see Allie Wagner being the GM of this club.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm really proud of them. We've been through a lot as women in the professional sense. We've had 2 leagues fold. I was in WPS my first year. We had a team in St. Louis fold in the middle of the year, and their players just were dispersed to
different clubs,
teams around.
Yeah. Whoa.
And then
That's crazy.
my second year after 2011, the league just folded completely, and so people didn't have anywhere to play. And they played in semi-pro teams, or honestly anywhere they could play, because there was talk. Okay, we're gonna have a NWSL in a year. There's gonna be another pro league, totally different structure. And I think they built it really smart. It was challenging. I made my first year playing NWSL. I made $13,000. And I was coming back from my third ACL, and I was like, okay, this is a real big commitment for something that I don't really feel like is. But if we're consistent with this, if we build it the right way, and unfortunately, a lot of us felt like if we sacrifice now, can we get it to a place where the kids who are watching us can be playing on the field? And now we're there. We're at the place where the kids who are watching,
150 million, you'd say.
Kids
we made
who are watching us are playing on the field. They're making a living wage. They have a lot more endorsement deals. It is a place where, I think us as players and those 4 who, wanted to make this team in the Bay Area specifically, we're just proud of all those people who stuck it out and were willing to make the sacrifice, because now it's paid off, and it's a good league to play in, and the best players in the world want to play here now.
There's some like big time stars.
Yeah.
And, there was a moment where some of the national team was going over and playing for United, Chelsea, getting into those European teams, Arsenal. But now you have Alex Morgan in San Diego. You have Rapinoe's in Seattle with the Reign. It's just cool to see the stars that, is there a more dominant U.S. represented team than the women's national team? It's amazing to see the stars here, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, last segment before we get into our first ad break. Yaya's new segment.
Yaya's segment. Here we go.
Here for it.
We're gonna call this the Rapid 96.
Okay.
You gotta.
I have 96 seconds.
96
seconds. Minute 36 on the clock.
It says rapid,
Put it up
but
there.
it's not really that quick. You can take it. You got a minute 36 to get into this.
Okay.
So. First question: pineapple pizza or no?
Is it my first choice? Like, if I'm choosing a pizza, is it going to have pineapple on it?
your pizza?
Does it deserve to be on pizza?
Yes.
I don't mind it on pizza, but it's not my first choice.
What's your first choice?
Oh, I'm going with like a fancy pizza, with like prosciutto and arugula, like a real.
Love that.
I don't even know what that is. Have those things though. Definitely real fancy shit.
I don't think that would be
You and Mitch are on fancy pizza. Team fancy pizza.
Let's go.
Beach or mountains?
Oh my gosh, no.
Beach.
You gotta answer. We're either gonna turn you against the people or be against the people.
Yeah, beach.
Beach. Okay.
Are you guys beach boys?
Yes, 100%.
Big time.
I went to the beach for the first time this summer and I loved it. And I might be a big
grew
beach
up on
person.
the beach. Like that's.
Which
But
one?
no, it's just so hard.
What would you rather have? A shot of ketchup or a shot of mustard?
Oh God.
Oh wow.
What a question.
It's rough.
Ketchup, because mustard is just spicy, and that's a lot.
Favorite Rapids moment?
Gosh, my Rapids moments go back for a long time. I think mine was when I was a youth player, and one of my I've been coached by Rapids guys for a long time growing up, and we got to go
seconds, no pressure.
go on the field, and like after the game when I was younger, and I was like, whoa, I could be a professional soccer player.
We got the air horns.
You got it.
You got it right in time.
You did
Wow.
it.
See, I knew exactly in my head how much
we had
longer
5
I had.
questions.
She's an athlete and she came in clutch. That's all it is.
Came in
It
clutch.
was good.
Podcasting
That's simple.
pro.
That was
You were
like
the
a-
first for the 96 and you crushed it.
Yep.
Thank you. Wow.
Good luck
I've
set
set
the
the bar
more
very
calling you
high.
out, dude.
Good segment.
Good
Yaya.
luck.
Yeah, they're fun.
You're not gonna be able to handle that.
Bring
All
on the
right.
wave.
We're gonna jump into some Rapids specific talk here in a sec. But first, we got to talk about the homies over at Shady Rays. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we have worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by the lost and broken replacements. Have you guys lost or broken your Shady Rays yet?
I'm
No.
shocked that this is the only pair of sunglasses
I know,
I've
it's-
not broken
Yeah.
or lost.
Yeah.
Of course.
I
right?
take care of them
2
so
months
much
ago?
because
Yeah, I
they're
still
so
have mine too.
nice.
Yeah.
Like I baby them.
Those are the ones I was wearing during the post game.
You looked great.
I am great.
You are great. Super Yaya. You're super. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence, knowing that they have your back long after you purchase. Together with the customers, Shady Rays is providing much needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact. From building playsets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime, Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now for years to come. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, everyone tuning in, Dad, that's you. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com, use code DNVR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars and 5 Rapids by over 250,000 people.
5 out of 5.
We also have to talk about Fubo TV. We love Fubo TV. 140 plus live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You can stream live TV from any device. I could do it right now on my phone, laptop, and on the TV up there. It's pretty sweet. Watch the most Colorado sports for the lowest price because you get altitude. Nuggets, stretch run. Avs, stretch run. Got to have Fubo TV if you want to see altitude and see the local teams. Start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial. No contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching. You have 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included at no extra charge. That seems like a lot of hours. Who needs 1,000
Yeah.
hours?
Do we have your dad in
My
the chat
dad's right there.
now?
I just saw that. Did we all see it at the same
Arthur,
time?
let's go.
Yes.
What up, Arthur? I like how it went full name too. Arthur.
What's his
very
nickname?
official.
Did you go by Art?
Just Art.
Art.
Oh, awesome.
Shout out Art.
Arthur.
I don't have to say dad anymore. Art, what's
Yeah.
up, dude?
Yeah.
Now we
Welcome
can
to
just
the
call him
chat.
Arthur.
Let's go.
Instead of Art being a fan of ours, we're a
amazing.
fan of art.
Yeah,
is
we're
so
a big
great.
fan of Art.
Yeah.
Let's see. Watch local teams while you're traveling. And you can watch the Nuggets, man. You got an MV3 coming up, maybe? Maybe?
It's gonna be.
I cashed out about
Let's
a
say
week
yes.
ago.
Let's say
I
yes.
was gonna say, yeah, of course.
Of course.
It should be. It
There we
should
go.
be.
You got a healthy Avalanche team almost?
Didn't they just clinch?
Yup.
They did just clinch. They're in.
both are in now.
And I
They
wouldn't
are
say healthy.
in.
Kel McCarr just got hurt.
Well, sure, but
But a
compared to
fun-
where they were,
Defending champion.
defending champs. Absolutely. Insert lower body injury there or body
Whatever
injury.
that means.
Use the link in the description to sign up for 15% off your first month with Fubo Pro.
You can also watch the Mexican League there.
You can
Ooh.
watch.
You can
Liga
scout
MX.
you can scout the Luca real quick.
You can scout Toluca. There you go.
Get prepped for
Leagues Cup.
leagues.
You know who
Cup.
we need to scout as of about 45 minutes ago?
Who?
Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC. because that
announcement
is the draw
in.
It's in.
for the first Rapids game in the U.S. Open Cup. They will be home to Hailstorm. How do you guys feel? What's your initial gut reaction to hearing home to Hailstorm?
The Rapids play at home?
Correct.
I thought for some reason in Open Cup, you always go to the...
Some of them are playing road games. It's a draw.
Okay, it's a draw.
Yeah. So there are some road teams. RSL is on the road in Vegas.
But also like home, both in Colorado.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
The stadiums are more intimate usually
Yeah,
in
going
the
up to
lower
Legends
league.
would be
And
fun.
then it
Packing
gets
in Legends would be sick.
crowded and you can just create a different atmosphere. And so I'm excited. I actually was really thrilled when Hailstorm got announced as their League One.
Yeah, I saw one.
Yep.
They have a cool logo. I mean,
Their jerseys are dope.
Their jerseys are what? You guys don't like it?
I love
No,
it.
there's we'll talk to you about this after.
Off the screen, I feel like
Oh, no.
we got some head shaking. No, I like their logo. They have cool jerseys, and we all know Colorado has too many hailstorms, so it was.
Perfect.
One
That's
too
all I
many.
know about them. I don't know anything about them as a team.
I'm excited.
Oh no!
They are
Everyone's
giant-
already calling a loss.
They're
in the chat
giant
already.
killers.
They
Yeah.
are. I wish.
They are
I wish
last
that
year they
RSL
were
drew
giant
them
killers.
They
on.
beat RSL.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were, but
Also, RSL sucks. So
I would
They're
imagine
fake
in that
Salt
league there's a
Lake,
lot of
dude.
turnover. So I don't know what the roster is
No
like.
idea.
They just knocked out Switchbacks again
Yeah, they did last night.
last night.
Yeah,
the switchbacks are good too.
I personally am super excited for this match.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. If ever there is a game that we need to win, it's this one.
Yeah.
It's called the Duane Bowl.
It is. I am all in on this match.
The Brown
Like,
Bowl.
I am so biased for the Rapids for this match.
Well, and people have been so into Wrexham and the FA Cup and playing in that, trying to get through,
Sure.
beat out the bigger teams. Like we have that here. It's the oldest standing tournament in the United States of any sport. U.S. Open
That's so
Cup
cool.
is so much fun. I've called a number of the games, and they're wild. You don't know what you're gonna get, and these teams from different leagues have the opportunity to play against the big guys, and it leads to a fun atmosphere.
That's exciting.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
really
More than
fun.
last year, you had Omar's Sac FC make a run
Yes.
all the way to the championship
We
against
did.
Unfortunately, Unfortunately, didn't get it. We were all rooting for him.
Yeah, I wanted
But-
the Sac to win.
Oh, I think everyone
Wow.
did. I mean, how could you not? After that game against Kansas City, in the semis was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, into penalties, dramatic. It was great. So
I do hate.
hopefully
that
it's
an
not
MLS team-
Hailstorm that has the dramatic run, but if you ask the chat, sounds like it is.
But if they do have the dramatic run, at least they can go to like
Sure, we
Northern
can go to
Colorado.
Legends.
Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
don't want it for the Rapids, but at
They
least
got
it'll
a
be
great
fun.
facility up there
So-
too.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, it's really nice.
In our preseason predictions, one of the topics I had to bring up was there hasn't been a knockout game win since 2017. Does that sound right?
I can't confirm. Chat, let us know.
I think it's 2017 was the last knockout game the Rapids have won. Do you guys, knowing the opponent now, do you feel better about? My prediction was we break that. Do we break it this time?
Don't feel
Gut
confident until it's
reaction.
done.
Gut reaction.
Don't feel confident until it's done.
All right.
100% breaking that.
100%?
Yes, I am. We can't lose this one.
They beat RSL.
I'm so tired of all of that. Like, I don't want to hear any more history of we can't win one.
If you're tired-
that was in the past. Like, we can win this
You
year,
being
and we're
tired
going to.
doesn't change the result.
The homie Brendan Plone in the chat drops the fun fact: out of all Colorado pro coaches since 2014, NOCO's Ayman Zayed has the highest winning percentage in. Is that an Open Cup, Brendan Plone,
It might
or in
just
knockout
be,
games?
It might just be a knockout game.
I think it's a knockout. Well, no, because Frazier's can't be just 0 for 1.
I mean, yeah, that makes no sense.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
but
yeah, he's had more.
I think that's the next kind of challenge left for this
The
team.
thing, like the Rapids need to run out. The other thing is that we've seen in the past is that typically with Open Cup is that Rapids don't run out their starters.
Well, no,
It's a
but
rest
most
day.
teams don't.
So yeah, but why not just crush them? Like run out the
Honestly,
starters
crush 'em.
and finish it.
I hate you.
We're gonna
Finish
give you a
it.
can.
You can
Yes,
finish
Julio,
off
our guy.
the talk about we can't win, a must-win game. Like we end that.
I
Just run out your
understand
starters.
that, and I agree. I think it's going to
Finish
be
it.
a win, but it's still until it's done. I don't put my
Start
eggs in that
Rubio,
basket.
start Bassett, start everybody.
And I'm
get the
usually pretty
dub
positive
at
about
home.
this.
What's
It's
the-
Easter.
do we have
Put
the
those
date?
eggs in the basket.
I'm sure we do, but I don't have
Don't
it
have
off the
it.
top of my
Yeah,
head.
it's
Maybe Brandon Plone does as he's watching. Shout out
Probably
to
the
our guy.
End of May, early July, I'm guessing.
I have no idea.
Oh, is
early
it that?
June.
I was like, we skipped a whole
Omar,
end of
just
May,
scream
early
if you
July.
do know. If you
I
find out,
don't
just
know my
scream it
months.
out at us.
I hear Jay and I'm just like July.
Okay, that's enough for that game. We can preview that when it comes up. It was nice to get the initial
Yeah,
reaction.
happened
to
right
the-
now.
Happened as we were
Literally,
saying hi. Yeah,
Yeah.
like instantly.
I think it's the first thing you said to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was excited. I was watching the whole show.
Omar, who's here on set's like,
real
wait,
sicko.
really?
He just found out.
Hey, they were driving during the
Yeah,
during
we
the
don't
show.
blame
Come
them.
on,
I
come
blame
on.
Omar, but we don't.
April 25th or April
Okay.
26th, according to Jarrett. Thank you, Jarrett.
Yeah, that's
Shout out
that's
everybody, all the
soon.
usual suspects in the chat
That's
tonight.
soon.
Nice to see you guys. Okay, let's get into SKC. This is it's actually the first repeat opponent of the season.
Yep.
A draw. One of the points that the Rapids have.
One of three
One of three.
for those keeping score at home.
Yeah. So Jordan, what do you think? How much are they thinking about that first game? I know there's no Pricey now. There's some different injuries.
Yeah.
Kind of. Were they at the 5-back or was it still sticking to the 4-back?
It was
in that
still
first
4,
game?
I think.
So kind of new formation. How much are you pulling from that first game looking into this game?
I think the first game was a good indication that this team had rebounded from the first game
Oh,
in
God, yeah.
Seattle,
Yeah.
and was a lot more cohesive in their how they knew that they could defend their defensive principles. So I think they're gonna take confidence that they performed really well in that game against SKC. I know Will Yarbrough made a number of saves in that game, and he's been really great. It's a different animal when you're going to Children's Mercy Park. They're loud. I think it's going to be a nice weekend. I would imagine it's going to be a pretty good crowd there. But I don't know how much you can take from that game because Colorado played a 4-3-3. They played a little bit with a 6 and an 8 in the first half, and then it was almost like 2 10s in the second half.
Yep.
Really pushed those midfielders higher, and that changed the game even within the game. So at halftime, I noticed that little change, and now we're going to see the Rapids in in a different formation. I don't know how you change after you play 2 really good back-to-back games in a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-2-1. I don't know how you change and go back to a 4-3-3,
hope
which
they
is
don't.
what you saw
Yeah.
against SKC.
Yeah.
So I think they stick to that. They've looked really good in that. We had a really good conversation with Keegan Rosenberry after the game
I was gonna
about
ask about him. Nice.
certain cues that him and Sam Nicholson are picking up and adjusting on the fly in the game and how that really changed the game against LAFC. You're not dealing with the same firepower that you were in LAFC and even in Austin with Driussi. I think he can change a game on a dime.
We're all big Juicy guys here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really stinking good. But you do have SKC has Johnny Russell back. They're probably going to have Polito for I don't know how long, but there's moments where he still looks very good. Like
Trust
he didn't
me.
miss a year.
I'm a Mexico fan. Polito's not much to worry about. Like,
He's not what?
He's not much to worry about. I'm a huge
Okay,
Mexico
well, he's
fan.
not much to worry about, says Yaya. And all
I'm
the
kinda
Rapids
out of
fans feel good.
Polito
Yeah,
for
okay,
so long.
we're out of Polito.
Out.
But they didn't have those 2 players.
They didn't,
We
no.
didn't have Diego Rubio.
I mean, that's the huge one to me. I mean, that's like kind of the end all be all of it.
Yeah.
Is Rubio's back.
I would like to see Rubio and Yappy play together, and I don't know if that will happen, but it's a different back line for SKC. So I think that if you can challenge them with 2 of your best attacking players who add very different challenges to a back line, if Yappy is that 9 and Rubio's playing underneath him or whatever it may be, could create some challenges that we haven't seen quite yet with this Rapids squad. But they've done a really good job of shoring up the defense, of knowing how they want to be a very hard team to break down. But you got to score.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
I think
that's-
that actually this is a really good matchup to be able to execute that.
So I know Willie Agata hasn't really gotten his feet under him this season.
He has an
yet.
Agata there?
Yeah, he hasn't got it there. Man, this is why we need Jordan on the pod more
Christ.
often. Pun queen.
Oh, no.
But
Oh no.
is that somebody you're a little bit more afraid of because of what he did the second part of last year? I've been really high on him since he came to SKC. So I don't know how you feel about him, even though like he hasn't really produced.
I was high on him last year. I think SKC, he fits so well in SKC's system because they are a cross-dominant team. Yep. And he is very, he's good at attacking spaces at the right moments. But I think it's going to be challenging against the 3 center defenders that we have for the Rapids. I don't think I would pick Agata over Wilson, Maxu, or Lawless Abubakar for a head ball. Or we've seen them just cover space so well. So it's going to be crowded in there for him to find any type of space. And that's really where he scores goals, is off of a crossing situation. He's not going to beat you 1v1 on the dribble, but Eric Tommy might.
Yeah.
And he might utilize that space at the top of the box that maybe Agata gives him a little bit more freedom to roam there. But I don't know. Agata hasn't clicked, but SKC hasn't clicked this year. So.
Yeah.
How do the Rapids score against SKC?
How do they?
What are your thoughts on that?
I was going to ask how do they win, but score sounds
How
better.
do they score?
Yeah, how do they score against SKC?
I think if they
weekend?
score, they win.
Yeah.
That's literally.
I think
That's
a good.
it,
SKC can be pretty aggressive with the way that they utilize their outside backs, and Graham Zusi has been a player that everybody knows. He's been in this league, for a long time. He's probably hitting that 15, 16 mark. And he's still pretty aggressive about how he gets forward, but can he cover the space in behind? And the Rapids are the second best team in MLS right now, or they were going into the game against LAFC, which they did a really good job in fast break situations. They create in those fast break situations. And so can you maybe let SKC have the ball a little bit and pick and choose, like I was just talking about Rosenberry and Nicholson, picking and choosing the times to initiate the high press, pick a ball off, and then go in transition and capitalize that space in behind for a Nicholson to get into, or a Max or a Rubio to get into that space behind the outside back. And then it's either a cut back to whoever's playing centrally. I think you're not looking for big crosses, but you're looking for slotted balls, which the Rapids have gotten in those spaces, just haven't chosen the right pass, I think, a couple of times. Even in that game against LAFC, we broke some film down this week, and there was a wide open, just cut back ball on the ground that is there. So their runs are there, their chances are there. They just haven't been able to utilize it. But I think that's a really good space that they could try to capitalize on.
You have something?
Do you think the Rapids win this weekend?
Against
They didn't get their first home win until early August last year in the most insane MLS game I
mean
may
away
have
game?
ever watched.
Away game?
What did I say? Home?
Yeah.
I
I
was
meant
like,
away.
what?
Sorry.
This isn't 2019.
No, I words. It's difficult. You have to say a lot of them on this thing.
It's almost like it's a podcast.
It's almost. But yeah, I mean, it took until that crazy Red Bull game. I would love to see that get out of the way. I don't want to be talking about.
And what a confident
Is this
boost
the week? Is this
that
the
would
week?
be.
Yeah. Also, they just need one win. I think they start rolling.
Me too. That's what I think.
So
is it this weekend?
I don't trust SKC at all. I think
Me
they're like the
neither.
Rapids, but worse.
I mean,
be
looking
completely
at-
honest.
You don't trust them?
No, I don't trust them. They will steal your girlfriend if you let them.
They've only scored 2 goals on the season too.
Exactly. I think they're worse than the Rapids, though.
I agree with that.
I think they're older. I think they're slower. I think the Rapids have a great injection of youth with Connor Ronan, with Max, if Cole Bassett's good to go.
Ronan's awesome.
Even Cabral can come in and be a great super sub. So to me, I think the youth and the speed is really going to help them against. You saw them; they should have won that game at home.
Yeah, they should have.
I still think it was a goal, not the Yappy one, but the one that Susie just cleared off the line. And
I think it was another Yappy one. Didn't Yappy have both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, was that Yappy too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I think about, guys? If Yappy scores versus Seattle in the second minute in that first game, I don't know. I just
It's
feel
a
like so many
different
things.
game
The whole
altogether.
season is
I
different.
think
The whole season is
I
different.
actually do think, just on a confidence level, I'm not saying they win that game in Seattle, but Yappy gets off and running. This is a game of like inches and moments
The
and
next 2
little
games,
things.
he had those inches moments.
Yes.
Goals change games like completely, because then what's happening?
This is
Seattle's
true.
chasing the game for maybe 98 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They open up a little bit more. Rapids getting behind again, score another. There's just so many things that happen in the game.
So in that SKC game, I agree. There were moments where that game definitely was.
It
You're
was
like,
tough.
Rapids are for sure walking out of here with 3 points.
Yeah, I had.
That's happened a couple times now. So maybe this is it.
I mean, you can even look at Austin and kind of the same thing. There's multiple games.
Yeah.
Even this last week against LAFC.
I hope so. We'll get into our predictions here at the end. Kind of based on a couple comments. I don't want to dig into exactly what they're talking about, but of the 7 new players that have come in, who do you think has fit into the Rapids mold the best so far? Maybe not necessarily had the best play, but who has sort of become a Rapid the most so far in your mind?
It's from the moment I saw Connor Ronan play, I was like,
easy one.
This guy is going to be so good for this squad, and for he's just going to fit into MLS really well. He can cover ground. He is really cerebral. I feel like he knows where to be at the right time to break up a play. He's very thankful though that Acosta is next to him right now and helping with a little bit of that defensive grit, so he can have a little bit more freedom. But I love his passing choices. There was a play, actually, I think it was versus SKC, and we're playing out of the back, and he pings this ball back to Keegan, and I think Keegan was like, whoa, okay, this is how we're playing out of the back. And I think when you pass like that, you instill a confidence within your group that you can make those passes in pressure, in tight quarters, and so they can find him. He seems to be in the right spot. He plays this outside of the right foot ball all the time.
Yeah.
It is just so nice.
Jordan
and I
just
love
became
it.
Italian.
Yeah, I am Italian, so
there you go.
It's so nice.
We don't assume around here. Hi, Jordan.
So I really
Andre's got to be hyped right now.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching him play, and
I think he's been great for Max.
Yeah, he's been great. Max. We'll see how the season plays out because there's a lot of depth. There can be a lot of depth in the midfield, especially with those 2 higher players. Is it Max? Is it Rubio? Is it Bassett? If depending on how you're playing, which player plays in that spot.
Yeah.
But Max has something different about him that
he's
now
awesome.
that I'm here and watching him play, there is just, you expect it from a Brazilian, just a real smoothness on the ball.
That joga bonito that they talk about.
Very nice.
Say that again.
Joga bonito.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not Brazilian, but
let's just marinate in that for a little bit.
Well, I'm not going to say it. I got roasted.
Yeah, he did.
2 episodes ago?
For saying
I'm not saying anything.
He couldn't say Querétaro.
I can say it. I just can't say it like that.
No, you can't. If you can't say it, you can't say it.
Yeah.
We're not getting into this.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Anyways.
Don't let Yaya put you down.
Thank you,
Max has been great.
Thank you, Jordan.
I really like Maxu too. I think Maxu has come in and done a really good job of they put a lot on his shoulders, especially, we knew that he was going to be a leader, but when you lose your leader, I think now he's able to step into the leadership role that he maybe wasn't going to quite take on as much with Jack on the field, but now Maxu can take that on and lead from that center back position. There were a number of times in this last game where you're just he's brought the team together in moments where, after the Austin goal, I talked to the team after, and he said, Connor Ronan, I was speaking to Connor Ronan, and he said, yeah, Maxu brought us in right after the goal was scored and said, we're not, this game is not going this way. We're going to basically refocused them and got them back in the moment and said, we're going to play better from here on out. This does not determine how this game goes. And that's the type of leadership you need. And, so those 2 players have really impressed me.
Love that. All right, we're going to get into our last segment. We got a little game, a little pop culture, DNVR Rapids mashup. But first, we have to talk about the homies at Illegal Pete's. We love Illegal Pete's. And this episode of the DNVR Rapids Show is brought to you by them. Graduation season is coming up, and let's face it, all the soon-to-be grads deserve a celebration that's as epic as they are. And what's a party without Pete's? Illegal Pete's Catering will provide a spread that leaves the whole family proud, even if they don't understand your major. Illegal Pete's delicious ingredients and customizable options, the perfect way to treat your guests to a culinary adventure they'll never forget. To book your order, head to catering.illegalpete's.com. That is https://catering.illegalpete's.com. Don't make yourself pull another all-nighter, so book your graduation catering ahead of time. Congratulations, graduates. You did it. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. You know who has a grad party this summer?
You.
This guy right
This
here.
guy right here. And I will probably be getting illegal.
Get him
beats.
some
You're
burritos.
graduating?
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank
He's
you.
18.
No,
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
I am not 18. I'm the old guy at school, and it's fine.
That's awesome. Good work.
Thank you. It is a lot.
It's-
I also worked at Illegal Pete's
He's
forever.
legal
so,
Pete.
Oh, Dwayne,
He's a legal
Dwayne
Pete.
Oh, is it time?
It's time.
Is it
Come on,
time
It's
for
time.
Mitch's Illegal Pete's tip of the day?
it's not the week this time. I'm not doing a daily tip. You get weekly tip. You
It's
heard
one
called it
day.
last
It's
time. It
Thursday.
changes slightly.
I
every
change
week,
it a
just
little bit just to keep everybody on their toes.
All right, so with catering, you can do a nacho bar now,
Oh, I'm about that.
and it is awesome as
you
it
do
sounds.
reverse nachos?
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Have
the
you
other
done that,
one,
Jordan?
What?
You just gave the questionable look of, what might that be?
Yeah.
reverse nachos.
Reverse
okay, so Legal Pete's
nachos,
right down here down the
Yeah,
street.
yeah.
Just,
There's one down here now?
just
Yeah.
3 short
I've only
blocks
been to
away.
the downtown one.
You get everything you would put on the nachos in a bowl, and then the chips are on the side, and you can just scoop
So you
the
don't get
fresh
soggy
chips.
chips.
Yes.
Thank you. We're spreading the word. You can
It's
also
what-
get a breakfast
it's what
catering,
I
I'm pretty
learned
sure, and
at
it's awesome.
DNVR.
So, all right, that's my tip of the week. Let's move on to the next.
Real quick before we go any further, give us a like, guys, please. It really
yeah. What
helps
are we
us.
doing? Give us a like.
Let's get to 24 likes. We got Rapid Man asking
Oh
me to
my
give us a like
gosh.
right
Rapid
now.
Man is very tall. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Super
wow.
tall.
Oh, we
He has
love
been. I mean, there's been a
Rapid
lot
Man
of
over
snow
here.
this
tsunami.
winter,
He's
so
like
like
a
those
tsunami man.
rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to
Have-
play the 9 for the headers or center back. Or a goalie. He'd be great as a goalie, too. He'd be intimidating.
Dwayne made some awesome Rapid Man stuff. We'll get into that
Yeah.
post show.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna let you run this one. You wrote this one.
I did write this one, and I just wanted to have fun. Literally, that's my whole MO
Wow,
at
what a
this point.
graphic! You guys are awesome. The two of you are great.
Look
I
at
do
how much
enjoy it.
Oh my
drama.
gosh.
I was just impressed with how much drama I got into one graphic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, there
actually
is a
true.
lot of drama.
So-
like, look at Price's face.
I know.
He's so.
He might come
Look
get
at
you.
look at Ronan just running around the flag to get to Ted Lasso.
He is. He's about to tackle him football, American football style, I think.
I have bad eyesight, so I can barely see any of this.
I have new glasses. I can see just fine.
This whole segment's literally going to be Jordan knows these guys a lot better than we do.
Oh, we are going to
Kinda
take
have-
absurd
yeah,
guesses though
yeah,
ourselves, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
We're going to
okay.
try to give our input to what we think. But we're going to name a few characters from Ted Lasso and see if Jordan can say who the Rapid equivalent
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
which we thought would be a lot of fun because that's a good way to kind of get to know the guys a little bit at a personal level
Yeah.
without you having to explain who they are.
So are we going to take our absurd guesses first and then let Jordan set it straight?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Does
that
think that's
sound
how it
good?
should be.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
So
All right, who's
right.
first up?
Dwayne has to
Ted
be.
Lasso. We're going with Ted Lasso as first character.
To me, Ted Lasso probably has to be. There's going to be a deep cut, and it's not on the first team, but it's probably Emilio Gonzalez from the PR team.
Whoa!
He is
Shout out to our
extremely
guy.
positive. He is extremely happy all the time. But if I
He
had
has
to guess,
inspirational quotes on his Instagram all the
he
time.
does. He's that kind of guy.
Yo,
but if I was
we
gonna
love
go
our
with
guy.
if I was gonna go with the Rapids player that's Ted Lasso, I think it would. See, this is really hard, but it would have
could
to
be
be
someone in the club.
I don't
You're
have
good.
a.
In the
I don't have a
club?
player. I think it's Waldy.
Wally. That's a good one. Wally.
That
going-
would be my.
You know who
pick.
I'm going with?
I'm going with
Oh,
Drew.
okay.
I'm going with Drew.
Oh, that's a good
Drew
one.
Moore.
Was that your pick?
It's for sure
See?
Drew
Yeah,
Moore.
okay, fair
Drew,
enough.
I get it.
Yeah, it's true.
is, you know, since he's a dad, he has a full back pocket
Oh,
of dad
yeah.
jokes and just
Friend
dad
of the podcast, Drew.
dadisms that he can throw out there
It's
anywhere.
so Drew.
I think it's true.
Damn.
Does he have
Very positive, like just a fun-loving guy.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So real quick, does he have like an alter ego like Led Tasso? Does he have like a what is it? Mru Drew? Drew? What is it?
Maru
Door.
Mru Draw? Does he have a Mru Draw in him?
I don't. I'll have to ask him if Mru Door is his
I would love that.
alter ego.
We need you back on the show, Drew. We need to know this.
Drew did our World Cup watch along with us.
Oh yeah.
And so
He
he
was here
watched
for
the
the
final
final.
with us and was
Oh,
breaking down like the penalty
gosh.
kicks and everything. It was super
Wow.
So much
That
fun.
was an incredible game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was awesome.
Might be the best game of my lifetime.
Oh, yeah,
at this
for
point.
sure.
Jared says Drew's def got BDE, big dad energy. That is correct.
Very true.
Nailed it, Jared. All right, who's the next player?
Next up is
Character, I should say.
He's there. He's here. He's there.
He's fucking everywhere. Roy Kent.
Roy Kent.
Roy Kent. This is the easiest one
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
I
any
think,
of them.
I think we're all gonna say.
Should we
it.
all just say it on
Yeah.
three?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Jack Price.
For
Easy.
sure.
No question about it.
I didn't have Jack Price.
But-
Who did you have?
I didn't have Jack Price.
I explained to you why though.
I know, but
Okay, we'll say it.
I have
Speak your piece.
Diego Rubio.
Yeah,
Because
that is a good
Rubio
one.
on the pitch is like the most aggressive. Like I would think
He's
if I was
so
on the pitch in front of him, I would be terrified if Rubio's coming at me. But off the pitch, as you know, we've
Oh, he's
met
a
him.
sweet boy.
He's the nicest
Yeah.
person, and that's Roy Kent. Like he's got that facade, that anger, Roy Kent, but he's just he's just a sweet guy.
I understand that pick. To me, what really sold it was two things: the beard,
The
and that
beard
he
is
was a
there.
midfielder.
For sure,
Yeah.
for
Alright.
sure.
Those are the two
Just
things.
Those,
that
those are
really
great
jazz.
arguments and reasons why
Great
it should be
arguments.
Jack.
Both played in the Premier League or like
Yeah.
in English football.
And they
Yeah.
both can get that look in their eye.
Yeah.
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 Both are sweethearts, as you saw with Penny.
Totally.
It's the craziest
So-
face.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know I love
Who's-
Jack. Yeah.
Who's the next one?
Jamie Tart.
Okay.
We had our GM give us
Thank
a
you,
great
Andre. Shout out
option,
Andre.
yeah.
He gave out the best answer here. It's got to be Cole Bassett, right?
It's Cole Bassett for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's Cole.
Oh.
Left, came back.
Super skilled,
Pretty.
Came back.
Like he's good looking dude.
good looking cat.
Young, good looking dude.
I know there's some negative qualities to Jamie Tart. Like, we're not going to say.
No, Jamie's. I mean,
Now he is.
Yeah.
But
he's
Jamie's
very-
like the goal scorer too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have. My first thought was Diego.
okay.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
I could see that.
Well,
But
You're-
Diego, I mean, you guys really looked into it. He left, he came back. Like I didn't think
Your
about
answers
that.
are the right ones.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
that's
true.
what I'm
You
I
have
told.
have good news for
I've
you.
been
That is
told.
correct. That is correct.
We're on the Angeli meter right now.
Yeah.
Like, we need to see where we land. Like, it's just,
Cole's really smart and Jamie is not.
again,
Oh.
it's Omar
That's a good point.
Omar off camera.
off camera
mic.
saying that
What a legend.
Bassett's really smart and Tart isn't.
Tart is not smart.
Also, we don't know if he has father problems. So,
Tart does not
But to me,
feel
it was
smart.
more the style of play. I feel like they're
Yeah.
both very silky with it.
Silky.
That's the way I would compare it. Like silky.
Silky with it. I like it.
And
Love
I
it.
also think that Cole has that mean streak in him that he can really get under people's skin, kind of like Tart does.
I've known Cole since he was 11, 10 years old, so I don't know that. But he might out on the field. I don't know.
I'm just thinking of the Austin game where he was like attacking the referee.
Dustin says
Dustin's going rapid
is
man
Tart.
for Tart.
Who knows, dude? Rapid Man might be silky with
That's a
it too.
good
Rapid
one.
man's got the hair for it. So.
looks great.
yeah.
All right. Who else?
All right, next up is Sam.
This-
Lasagna.
we had conflicting-
Defender, right? Is it Sam a defender?
Yeah. Well, he defender
No,
moved
he's-
into
he's-
midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He dated the owner.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Legend.
So I don't know if anyone's
Legend.
dating the owner
If you're
here.
not up by now, like
We just
you-
need to put that out there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think Conky's in the locker room making winky eye to any other players, but
All right. Well, with that removed from the equation, who do you got?
super sweet guy, smart, cares about in the I think his second season really cares about who the kit sponsor was. It was just seems to be a very purposeful guy. And that's Keegan to me. Like he's a very cerebral
What a
dude.
pull.
he took
And
mine too. That's who I had in
What
mind.
a
Yeah.
that's
pull.
Keegan.
Omar's shaking his head. Okay. All right.
I don't
Who
know
do you
what
got?
that
I don't know
meant.
what the symbol meant.
Either do I.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wallace.
that's a
Wallace,
really good one
you,
too.
that's
Oh, he's
good.
like he's always smiling.
Yes.
Actually,
Friendliest,
Lawless.
sweetest.
Wallace is so nice.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see Lawless
Ooh.
doing the stuff with the select team. And
It
it's
might-
like,
yeah.
You belt a
It's
little bit.
Lawless.
Like,
Might be Lawless actually.
Well, it
Great
depends.
choice.
What does Jordan say? Because her answer is the correct
That
one.
is true. That is the correct answer.
I kind of liked the Keegan route.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like Keegan.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Omar.
Omar.
You lose
Lawless
this
was a
one.
good pick, though.
I love Wallace.
Yeah.
Sam is
But
very
Wallace
lovable.
has like a little bit meanerness. Like he's a little bit meaner on the field.
feisty
and
yeah,
Sam
he's
isn't. I don't
feisty.
think Sam's that feisty in
No.
the show.
That's a good point.
I don't think you
Yeah.
would see Sam like.
Who would
No.
fight with Cole Bassett? Because that's the Jamie Tart.
All right, now we might be
That's-
literally get too little
We're
on
getting
here.
That's
deep.
how we
All
decide
right.
this.
We're not going storylines. We're
Where
not
are our
going storylines.
biscuits, by the way?
No
So-
biscuits.
We're gonna be here.
Yeah,
Oh my
we got
God.
wings.
That's
though.
Drew.
We got wings.
That's Drew's fault. That's Drew's fault.
Yeah.
Because he's the Ted Lasso.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Drew.
That's a good point.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Drew.
Thanks, Drew.
Thanks a lot.
Uh,
Next
else?
up is Coach Beard.
I changed my answer. This was originally going to be Drew because I thought he was kooky. And
Okay.
I thought it was hilarious. But the more I thought of it, this might be Crookham.
Whoa.
Crookham might be the coach beard of this whole thing.
Oh, that's
Crookham.
good.
Crookham
I
is
was going
awesome.
Sharpie.
Yeah, that was my
Sharpie.
thought was Sharpie.
Like crazy. Like I can just see him doing corner kicks, like in there with all the film going back and forth, just like and giving the little pointer, like Robbins or the coach is in there. Who's Drew? You know,
Yeah.
Drew's in the office.
Sharpie, my former
And-
teammate at
and-
Media Cup. Shout out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sharpie's just giving like these like 3-word answers to him that are just really inspiring and keeping it Drew, Ted Lasso. And so I thought Sharpie, but I like Crookham.
Crookham fits.
I can
for
see
sure.
Crookham in that crazy episode where it was like, woo!
Yeah.
That's
Just doing
exactly-
weird things.
Yep.
He's in the club.
I can also just see Crookham being like, stand up, like immediately, like, just to anybody that walks by. Like,
What a
to
legend.
me, Crookham is
Shout
big.
out. Also, friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
Love you.
He's
Crookham.
awesome.
That was a
Funny
good
as
one.
hell.
Anybody
All
else on the
right.
list?
Next up, we got Danny Rojas.
To me, I mean, this one was
Football
easy to
is
me.
life.
It's Max.
Yeah.
To me, it's
not
Max, and
Max
that's
to
an
me.
easy one.
To me,
I've got a different one.
it was Rubio, just because of he's the other ace in the hole. He's like the guy that just kind of goes out there. He loves football. He was born into this game.
For me, it's Connor Ronan. Because I see Danny Rojas running around going, Danny Rojas! And like just running around. And when I watch Ronan play, I feel like in his head, he's like, Connor Ronan! And he's just burning dudes
right,
If you're
right.
just
all
like,
over the
if you're just
field.
like sprinting down
Like-
the field, run and run, run and run. So, like that's what's going on.
Who do you
They're
got?
like, there he
We
goes
were all
again.
split here.
Yeah.
What's the right
Oh
answer?
gosh. I think that's a really good one because now I don't know. I already picked Diego, but I get why you would say Diego there. I get Max. Just the
In terms of
you know,
just the happy, the always positive, stoked to be
Yeah.
out there.
It's
Yeah?
hard.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been
yeah,
Mosquito.
Mosquito,
It for
for
sure would have been
sure.
Mosquito.
Yes.
The little Mosquito.
That's a good one. Julio says Galvan. That's a good one.
Galvan is really
Actually-
That one would be good.
Attaboy, Julio. Shout out.
Julio. I'm going to go with Julio.
There you go.
There
That's the
it
right
is.
answer.
Football is life.
The correct
Football,
answer is
yeah.
Galvan.
All right, we got time for one more here.
All right, we're going to finish it up with Nate.
the great.
Hopefully you've made it to the end of season 2 to
Who's Nate?
Aston.
I forget now.
Nate is
The
the
assistant coach.
is the water boy moved up to
Oh,
assistant
Nate.
assistant coach. Nate,
We
who
can
is now
really tell.
sorry if you haven't watched up to the end of season 2. I'm sorry, but Nate has left AFC Richmond to go coach West Ham, and just turned on AFC Richmond.
So we have an easy answer.
So this is an easy one. This is
Yeah.
this is such a layup.
Actually,
here.
hold on. Before I want to
I have
hear.
no idea who you guys are
Yeah,
going to
we
say.
have-
I was
have
gonna
an
say-
answer. We have
I
an
was
answer,
gonna-
yeah.
I was gonna say, do you have a gut
Yeah.
answer for Nate?
No.
All right.
It's Rapid Man, by the way.
No, it's not Rapid
Rapid Man's
Man.
Village in
It's not Rapid
Is he stealing
Man.
all our secrets and taking them
it's
to?
Rapids legend turned villain.
Oh, Pablo.
Yeah, everyone. There you go.
Pablo got it.
that's good.
Everybody got it.
I
It
was.
says it's Anthony Hudson.
Anthony Hudson.
First of all,
I was,
Anthony Hudson had to be liked by the fans for
Yeah,
him to
that's
be named.
easy.
I don't know why I was thinking a player.
No,
And
yeah.
I'm like, Jassy last year, like,
no,
I'm like,
Jassie's
Jassy's like
way-
too nice,
Yeah, way
you know?
too. Can't be mad at. Can't be mad at.
It could have been Benicet.
I mean, Pablo's nice too, but enemies. Ew.
Yeah, enemy.
Yeah.
Fake Salt Lake.
And a
Yeah.
Get
sad
outta
enemy.
here.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurt.
does.
Just like when
It
Nate
does.
left, it hurt.
That
me.
was really fun. Do I get to be the boss?
Or-
I have good news.
You want to be the boss?
Wait,
Yeah.
Omar's got one. Omar's got.
Gary Smith.
Oh,
Gary Smith.
Oh,
Wow.
Get this Peter
Omar.
Vermes count under that too?
Get a chair for Omar.
I know.
Can we put Peter Vermes
We
in
got
there?
5 people on the show now.
I mean, Peter
No.
Vermes was also a Rapid player that went into SKC
Yeah.
and kind of.
Jesus, too many Nates out there.
yeah.
We
well,
need
I
more
have good
Dannys.
news for you, Jordan.
Yeah.
You got all of them correct.
Wow.
Way to go.
Thank you.
It's almost like you were measuring up to what she said. Almost like she had the cheat sheet.
Good stuff, guys. Well, how we end our Thursday show always is we go around and do predictions for the game, throw out
Okay.
some goal scorers. Do you want to go first or last?
I'll go first.
First. All right. What do you got for this weekend?
I think it's going to be 2-1.
Okay.
The Rapids are going to win.
Whoa!
Diego's going to score.
Okay.
Because we're playing SKC. And
I love that storyline.
We're going to get a goal off a corner kick, and Ronan's just going to plop it on the head of Maxu.
Well, I was going to say Olympico maybe, but I'll take
no,
a
we've
Maxi.
already done an Olympico
We got the Olympico for the year.
for Toronto. Did you see the wins, though? That was wild.
Yeah, that doesn't,
You
that's
have
not a
to
true
shoot.
Olympico.
You have to shoot on that.
Yeah, because it's going to just pull it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go, Duane. What do you got?
2-0 Rapids. I think Yappy's going to get that goal. And then I also think a set piece, corner kick. But I think Wilson's going to get it this time. Like, he was so close
he was
so many
so
times.
close.
He has been knocking
I think it's
on
gonna be
that
Wilson.
door.
That last time he just was like, I can't get up. I'm not getting up. I can't believe that didn't go in. I've headed the ball so many times. I'm just staying here forever now.
His head was just red at that point. He's like, I can't do this again.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Who you got?
I'm taking off my hat, and it's going to be a hat trick for Diego Rubio.
Whoa!
And I think it's going to be a
Wow.
nail-biter. It's going to be a 3-2 win.
Jesus.
And I think goals are going to fly because I think both teams are going to
Because these teams are flying.
No wonder you like NWSL.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and the real
3-2
reason
will
is
be crazy.
Both of these teams look at this as a get-right game.
They need. They
Yeah,
both,
for
they
sure.
both
They're
need
very
it to be
desperate
a
for
get-right game.
a win.
Points.
Both
And-
teams are desperate for a win. and
Exactly.
that's
So I'm
all
like,
it
Our
is.
they're going to
defense,
open
though,
up.
our defense is going to lock it down.
The thing is, I don't think
They're
it's
not
gonna,
scoring 2 goals.
No,
Except
but
I don't want Yappy to score not at home at first. I'm sorry. Is that rude of me?
No,
fair.
not at
No,
all.
That's
It's
super
totally
mean.
I wanted to just
What
like
is wrong with you, Jordan?
go to C38 and be like, oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
true.
mean, and he's
true.
like the new.
he's gonna
chosen
go
one for
blind.
that.
Like
Yeah.
he's not gonna see. He's gonna be like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know how to celebrate.
Yeah. And to your point, I don't think it's because the defense broke down. I think errors are just gonna. I think it's just gonna be.
It's just one of those. It's a
Yeah,
rivalry. game.
it's one of those
Yeah.
games that
Weird stuff
just
happens.
balls are gonna
Weird
flop
stuff
and hit
happens in the
everywhere.
derby.
Wacky
Is this a
goals.
derby?
Wacky game.
I feel weird using derby when when teams are like
Yeah, they're
an
not-
8-hour drive away.
Yeah.
It feels weird to.
That's
you know?
why it's rivalries in America.
Yeah, but
We
derby's
don't got
such a better
derbies here.
word. I think it is unfortunately 1-1 draw. But Diego
Our
finally gets
realist.
his first. Well, I think last year I predicted 34 wins. So,
We need more optimism.
at
least you're going against the grain a little bit.
He's
Yeah.
dialed it. He's
He
dialed
He
it
throws
back
a draw
this
in
year.
every now and then.
Trying to keep it real.
He does not know. Like he'll like shift all the way to one side or the other one. There's no in between for Mitch right now.
No, you're right. So that's why I'm trying to find the middle. I think it's 1-1. I think there's another game where it's chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. And then they take out that frustration on Charlotte in 2 weeks. That's what I think. So
All right.
Rubio gets it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Duane, plug us out of here, man.
I'm gonna pass.
You're going to pass.
I'm-
Yeah. Also pass?
I'll just say it real quick so we can
Sure.
get it all done. DNVR_Rapids on Twitter. Follow us wherever you listen to this podcast. Please give us a thumbs up, a like, a review, anything you can. Positive always helps. Negative doesn't. We really appreciate that.
All right, Jordan, where can they find everything that you do?
Everything I do.
Everything, all of it.
A lot
Plug all your
Plug it
things.
all
Like, this is your
now.
time.
everything.
They have the biggest platform you'll ever be on.
Yes,
Yeah.
ever. This is going to get the bump. The
We have
DNVR
literally
the
dozens of
DNVR
people
bump.
waiting to hear.
I know.
Tens of people.
I think they're on the edge of their seats right now. Well, everything we're doing, ColoradoRapids.com. You can catch me on Apple TV with the content for the Rapids. I am Jordan Angeli on
Jordan Angeli.
both socials. And if you want to know more about the ACL Club, if you know anybody going through an ACL injury, it's just the ACLclub.com and everything is linked there. And
That
thanks,
gets you to
guys.
the podcast, everything on there?
Yep, the podcast is on there, everything.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks
us.
for coming, Jordan.
Thanks for having
much
me.
fun.
This
Did you have
is
fun?
awesome. I had a great time.
Let's go.
You're always welcome on the
always.
show.
This is really fun. Cool
Always.
spot, nice setup, all the angles.
Yeah.
I like it. Good
Thanks to
production
Kale.
too.
Yeah, shout out
Shout out to
Kale.
super producer Kale.
Forgetting
Back
all
real
those
quick.
angles.
Real quick before we head out,
Oh, yeah, we
Kale,
did-
do you have a prediction for the game?
2-1 Rapids.
Let's go!
Do we need to get Omar since he's
The
been
Carroll
chirping
bump.
in?
Omar says no.
Omar's like, no.
Omar
Omar
was
just
not
said 0-3 SKC wins. What up with that, Omar?
Omar, didn't see that one coming from you, man.
Omar's on the clock.
Messed up, dude. Wow. You said everyone's getting. Wow, man. I can't. I'm not even
Wow.
gonna repeat that one.
You're just cussing all year, like.
Can't
And I
believe he said that
from a
at
club
work.
official?
He's gonna be like,
Wow,
Jordan,
dude.
why did you do that? I was just trying to include
Wow.
everybody.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe and like the video. Subscribe to DNVR Sports on YouTube. Get your diehard membership. Get your free gear. Get your discounted gear. Get into the Discord channel. Have some fun with us. And more important than all of that, baby, how we end every single show. We have it on our scarf. Up the pits.